This is Dan Abbott, and this is a video on how to use DraftSight. And this particular video, I'm going to be showing you how to use this exercise drawing that was set up so that you could make sure you identify proper line types and line weights and add layers to a DraftSight drawing that allows you to control those things. I'm going to start by opening up a file called AddLayers. And that file looks like this, where you have a bunch of things, all of which are on the same layer, all of which are on layer 0. There are a few layers that have been created here, but those layers that have been created do not include layers that would control the line weights and line types of the objects that are here. So we have an object line here, for instance. That object line should be on a layer called object or visible. We have a hidden line here. That line should be on a layer called hid. So the way this is supposed to look when you're done is this. So what you're looking at right here is the same drawing, except line weights have been assigned, line types have been assigned, and each of the lines themselves have been identified as to their line type. Your job is to create a layer for each one of these: an extension layer, a leader layer, a viewing plane layer, phantom line layer, a section line layer, a visible line or an object line layer. Visible and object, by the way, are the same. And then to move each of the lines on this drawing to the correct layer. And while you're doing that, I'm going to ask you to assign some colors as well. I don't care what colors you use, as long as it's a different color for each layer, and as long as the line types that are used and the line weights that are used are correct for the purpose. So this is what you're going to create. You're going to create this starting with that other drawing. This is what it'll look like. It's going to turn off all of the layers in this drawing. Okay, this is all the visible lines in this drawing. So all the lines that look like this have to be placed on a layer called visible or object that have a thick line weight and a continuous line type. Viewing plane line is going to look like this. Section lines are going to look like that. Phantom lines look like this. Those are all the leader lines here. Hidden lines are going to look like that. Dimension lines look like that. Cutting plane line is going to be on there. It's going to be a chain line. It's going to be a center line type. It's going to be a break line. And the border actually is the border of the title block. And that's it. So your job is to create this out of this. I'll show you how to go about doing it. First, let's do the visible lines. We'll go in and we'll set up a layer, brand new, for visible lines. We'll make sure that the line weight is changed from the default to 0.4, so it'll be twice as thick as the default lines. Once you've done that, you need to go and zoom in all over the place and grab all the lines that should be visible lines and put them on that layer. So if I select that, go up to visible and drop it in place, there it is. Now it's a little hard to tell that it's there. That's why I'd like you to do is to go into options. Under options, line font, line weight by layer, select display line weight and graphics area. Okay, and now you can see that as you're placing them, they're automatically going to be put in the right place. The handout that you've got is going to show you that the line weights themselves look like this. I'm looking at those lines right in here. Go back. Now I can grab this one, this one, this one, and put them on different layers. Now I can do that one at a time. I can pick the line and come up here and then drop it on the visible layer. But I can also pick the property painter command, pick that line, say make that an object line, and that, and this. Come over here, that's an object line, that is, and that is, because it's the top of a pin that sticks up. That's an object line, so is this, so are these ends. So you see the property painter can be used to do this exercise. Object line, that's a short break line. More object, another object line, This section has to show up as an object line. Come over here. That's an object line. That is. Another little arc right there would be an object line. And all these edges right here going around the outside, as well as the holes themselves. Now that would start off by indicating to you what the basic shape of this is. You might then, and I'm leaving white as my object layer. I go back over. Let's say I want to create a new layer called Dimension. Give it a color of some kind. 160 is the color it's set to right now. Make sure it's a plottable layer. There's only one dimension on this print, and that dimension is right there. Select it, put it on the dimension layer. Now it turns blue. Go back to the layer command. Let's do the hidden layers now. I'm going to always start on layer 0 so that when I create a new layer, it doesn't pick up the properties of the current layer that I'm on. So because I'm on layer 0, when I pick new, the new layer I'm creating, it's the same properties as layer 0. So we'll call this one hidden. Change the color of this. Let me pick cyan. I don't want them to be continuous. I want them to be hidden lines. So I have to come out here to others, load, go down to hidden, apply by activating it. Default is okay. Although I made an object layer that was an object line for 0.4, so this is going to be 0.2, which is going to be half of that. Now I can zoom in and say, all right, that hidden line right there, I'm going to grab the line and put it on the hidden layer. Now you'll notice it doesn't break down into a hidden line. Let's do the other ones the same way. Before I do, I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to select that line, go over here where it says 1 right now, and change that to 0.5. See, is that going to break into a hidden line? It does. I use my property painter, painted that one, and this one. And actually that looks okay for those hidden lines. You could even make them a little bit smaller if you wanted to. I grab all of those with a left movement of my mouse, so I have a crossing window. Come back over here. Say let's make the line type on this, say 0.3. Now the segment lengths get a little bit smaller. It looks just a little bit better. I can property painter that hidden line to this, which is in fact a hidden line. So is that. Got this hidden line here, a hidden line there, coming all the way down through. That's a hidden line. And that may be all the hidden lines. If we take a look back at our original part, I don't see any other hidden lines on the drawing, so we're good to go on that one. When you're done transferring all the lines to the proper layers so the line weights and line types work, I want you to go and double click on the text, and I want you to edit that text so that now, not just double click, but I want you to edit that text so it correctly identifies the type of line. You double click on it, then replace whatever's there, including the brackets. I'm just going to put the word in uppercase letters, dimension, line. Do the same thing over here.